Okay guys, I'll try to keep this a quick update for Bitcoin. So I'm expecting something to happen very soon, and this has to do with gold, the US dollar, and obviously Bitcoin. And I'm going to cover this. I will ask you this, guys, if you want to help me out, I don't have to put up these videos. You don't have to watch these videos, but if you want me to put these videos up and be more regular with my content, if you don't mind leaving a like and a comment, it really does help out this YouTube algorithm. They're changing it all up. And if you want to go ahead and subscribe, guys, it would mean a lot to me. So the last video I put up, I'll put a link up to it now. This is about 6 minutes, 3 seconds in. But I was making it very clear. And I said, just pay attention to this one level. If we get a daily open below 121,100, this green line, then you'd go short. If we get a daily open above, then we're headed to 126,300. Resistance level above to long to or short is going to be 126,000. Notice I'm marking off this line. And I even doubled down in Discord. And I'll show you, you can't get access to Discord in these charts, guys. I stand by my lines. If you get a daily open below 121,100, it was nothing more than a bull trap. Open above, then we're headed to 126,500. And we pushed above it, we got a daily open, and then we pushed up to that target. And I covered other things, I was showing the target where we're headed to, or too long to, and also covered multiple charts. And when you see the gold chart and the DXY chart, I think you'll understand what I'm getting at here. So we did get a daily open, right? This is the video I was talking about to go long. We got a daily open, we came back down to test it. So if you got a daily open above, expect a target of at least 126,000. We push up to 126,165. Some charts or some exchanges pushed a little higher. We didn't quite tap this trend line right here. That was where I was expecting us to hit. I entered early. I'll show you that trade in CoinCatch here. And actually, I drew some curves in here. This bottom curve, and I duplicated that curve, and it also matched the top. Anyways, I was just playing around with curves and having some fun with it. But I want to show you something. So this is CoinCatch. And yeah, I know people go in and they'll go heavy. If I was just scalping, like if I expected this to push back up, yeah, I would have gone in very heavy with this trade. But the problem with that is, I entered at 125,169 because I didn't know if we would drop from that point. See, we pushed above it a good bit. I was at a loss. But notice we came back below, we pushed back up. I'm in profit $570. It's not a lot of money. But my entry is all the way up here at 125,169. Price right now is 121,494. So if I went under market and I put in $500, and notice I'm at 40x. So if I put in $500 right now, well, that's 500,500. So $500. If I hit sell short, what's going to happen is it's going to average between my entry point and where current price is. That'll put my break-even price at 123,523. I don't want to do that yet because price could push up to that point, stop me out, and then I'm out of my trade. What I want to wait and happen is for price to come down. If I'm correct, price continues down, we get below a resistance level, then I add $250 to this trade, and then price will come down a quarter of the way. Then as price moves down more, then I add another 250, and then as price moves down further, then I add like 500. But I'm not using my money to trade with. I'm using money I'm making off of a winning trade. Like I said, I'm up 117% on this trade. But the reason I'm saying use low margin, if you knew that you were going to get rejected here, go high leverage, guys. You can use a high leverage, put a stop loss above. And then when you get to a certain point, if you make a good bit of money, take your profit. But I'm playing the long game here. When I say long game, I mean a long short. So again, as price drops, I'm going to add to my short, add to my short. Now, if we push up and I get stopped out, then hey, I was wrong. But this looked like the most likely point to be a top. If there ever was going to be a top for Bitcoin, at least a cycle top. I'm not top forever, just cycle top. And I'll cover this as well. And let me give you these targets and we'll cover all this. So what I will do is when price drops below a certain point, I'll show you that point. I'm going to add to my short. And then this will get exponential. At 40x, price is just down from what, 125,169 to 121,550. Just with $500 at 40x, I'm up $558. So if I did 2,000 margin, I'd be up over what, $1,200, something like that. So just showing you how that works. The point is start out with low margin, because if it goes the wrong way, you can get out with less of a loss. If it's going the correct way, stay in and then just add to it. That's a safer way to trade. Also notice I have a stop loss set above, so if it pushes up, it gets stopped out. No big deal. I don't lose that much. If you do want to sign up to CoinCatch, guys, this is the events page. I'll put a link up to it now. This only lasts 23 days, all right? And then this is going to be over. You can get, this events page, I'll put a link up to it if I haven't already. If you deposit $1,000, you get $5,000 back, 30 slots every 7 days. Deposit 500 to get 1,250 back, 300 slots every 7 days. If you want to use my affiliate link to sign up, it's on that same page. All these links will be pinned in the first comment description. I'll put a link up to my sign up link now if you want to use that. By the way, you need to use my referral link and then click join if you want to be part of this, their special. And you can also, that also makes you part of this trading bonus, where if you get a certain amount of trading volume, you can actually get a bonus in addition to your deposit bonus. And you can't get access to my charts, but you have to use your bonus to get access to my charts in Discord. So if you have used a bonus, just email me through the website and I'll get you hooked up. If you want to learn how to trade on CoinCatch, guys, this is a video I put up teaching you how to set up your account, transfer funds to your futures account, difference between isolated and cross. You can do a lot more with cross. Isolated, you're more limited, but cross uses everything in your account. So it's good to know what the tools are and how to use them. I always use market price instead of limit price, because sometimes limit price will not trigger if price moves too fast. Market price will. So I cover all this information. So if you're new to trading or you just want to understand how the tools work, watch this video, especially if you want to learn how to trade on CoinCatch. We'll link up to it now. And of course, guys, if you want to sign up, get access to my charts in Discord, you can do that. Just if you do sign up, make sure you email me through the website, and I'll send you a Discord invite link. You can't pay with USDT, but you can email me through the website, and after tutorials teaching my, how I create these charts. This is already running long, and I haven't even got to the point of it. So look, we did push up. We did not make it to this. I was wanting to short right here, so I got in a little early. But notice we got rejected right at pretty close to this fib line. And the fib line I was talking about in the previous video was this fib line. Now notice we're underneath it. So I'm waiting to see if we get a daily open below 121,513. That means your next support level below this, again, this is just a trend line that goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. Yes, price can and will respect it. It has. But your next most key support below that is going to be down around 117,500. Take note, that's a center Bollinger Band on the daily coming up to this area. But take note, guys. Look at the Bollinger Band on the daily. I'm sorry, the MACD moving average on the daily. And notice how it's going from dark green to light green, starting to flip. You can see we already got a cross, way overextended on the RSI and the MACD. I mean, look how overextended we were back here. We're close to this area here. So it already looks bullish. It already looks bearish for the MACD and the RSI. We hit a point that could be a cycle top. Again, I could be wrong, but it's worth staying in. Again, this is why I'm playing this with low margin. We come down below a certain point, we hold resistance, I add to that short. We drop, become under resistance, I add to my short. I'm using exchanges money, I'm not using my money. Let's go on. So this is the C1 chart mentioned in the last video. And you'll notice we did push above. Notice we just got a wick above, and notice we got rejected 125,238. We pushed up again and got rejected. We pushed up all the way up to 126,183. Notice we kept getting rejected at that line. And then you can see our current support right now is right here, and we're getting a bounce, perfect bounce to the dollar, guys. These charts are getting entries to the dollar. So if you're scalping, these charts are perfect for that. But that would be, get in, go high leverage, high margin, then take your profit and get out. If you're going to hold a trade, well, again, this doesn't have to be a cycle top, but if there was any point that there was a cycle top, it looks like this could be it. Your current support to pay attention to, watch, see if we break below 121,271. That's the point you would scalp along if we hold it. Your next support level below, again, this is hourly, showing 119,844. Just go back and you can look and you can see why. You can tell that this is an important line. See all that resistance right here? That's why we're holding support right there currently. So just look left and you can see why these lines are so important. We do know that this is going to be very strong support. We have this red line in this direction, multiple lines in this direction, so 118,700 around that area. But again, this is for scalping. This is a published version of that chart. Just want to show you. It says published this on September 15th. This is on the daily. And take note where I have the white lines. So if I hit play, look what happens. We push up, we got rejected twice. We knew this line. Again, the way I create these charts, I help you find these points. With all of the noise in the charts, I help you find those points to short. And with confluence with other charts, if you see multiple charts with a certain target, that's likely a point too long to and or short. That was the daily. And this is the 2 hour. Now when I show the actual chart, I actually added some fib channels to it. I bring these out as price moves along. But if I hit play, you'll notice what happens. See, that's where we hit it twice and got rejected. You see this is next key support level, 118,900. Strongest support level below, 114,500. And your strongest support below that, 105,162. All you got to do is just go look left. Just follow the lines back. That's what they're there for. And this is where I'm getting at with a possible cycle top. And we'll find out if I'm wrong or if I'm right. If we get above our previous high, now we could come up and test a high, and this could still be valid. If we break much above that, then it could be invalidated. But this is the same video I already referenced. So I had this this video pinned in the first comment description as well. But what I was talking about was this wedge, and I was saying, look, even if we push up, to 126,500, even 127,000, we're still going to be within this rising wedge. Remember I said when we cross this ring, that's likely going to be the cycle top. Well, yeah, we did get a bounce and we pushed back up. But again, that's why I was letting you guys know the last video, the beginning of October is typically bullish. So it made sense we would push up. But we did hit that point and got rejected, as you can see. We got a nice rejection right at 126,000. This is on Bitstamp. We pushed up to 126,327. So your current resistance is 126,793. And this is also why I'm not adding, I'm being cautious adding more margin to my trade. I would love for us to come up, test resistance, start dropping, then add to it. But once we break below this point, and again, we have broken below these points previously and pushed back up into it. It's happened here, it happened here. But this is the next, I would say this would be the support level for this rising wedge. So roughly around 116,500. If you go across different charts, you can compare these prices. So once we're below 116,500, definitely once we get below 108,000, we never go on much lower, but you can see that this is going to be a very important level, 116,500. Okay, so again, if you connect the wicks, that's what these are for. We didn't make it to it. That's why I had the fib lines. So we do know this, guys. Again, I do think the cycle top is in. I could be wrong. We'll see. But we know that, and guys, if you go back and watch 3 videos back, I've been bullish since 108,500. And I told you if we get above 118,000, more than likely we're headed to 126,000. That pretty much played out. We do know this line. Now, remember before I was saying, look, this is a lot of resistance. That red line right here goes back to 2017. Look how much support and resistance it was, right? So once you got above it, you would go long. So I'm going to tell you, 118,660 is going to be a very critical support level. That might be a point you want to scalp along, go long. Even if you're holding your short, maybe you want to do a long hedge. That's where you have a long and a short open at the same time. And then you can take profit on one while riding the other down. That is, a lot of people trade that way. Sometimes you can actually, when price is ranging, you can long and short at the same time. Price pushes up, take profit on your long. Price drops, take profit on your short, and price pushes up, you just keep doing that. There's different ways to trade, guys. They're all risky, but if you practice risk management, they're less risky. So we know this 118,761, that is a key level. That 116,000, that's the bottom of this wedge, but you can wick below. That's why I like to use these fib lines. And this is actually just trend line goes back to 2017. It's been resistance going all the way back. I've shown this plenty of times. Watch previous videos. I go to detail about that. Your next key support level below is going to be around 113,500. And as I said, when going back, that other chart, look, if we break below this line right here, this is going to be very, very, very bearish, all right? So again, notice that's why I said go to long at 108,624. This is a very key line. So if we come down, this might be a point you want to chance long 109,450. But if that becomes resistance, that's further confirmation we have a lot more downside. Now I would love for us to come down and hit this as resistance. So something like this, come back down. This would be resistance. I might even go a lot heavier adding to my short. And then continue to write it down. You probably push up. But again, if this is a cycle top, we're going to go sideways and down. And every time we hit, likely we hit support as you'll hit support to get a bounce. So I'll open a scalp that will be a hedge long. Ride it up to a certain point to resistance, take profit of my long by holding my short. Then we get below 118K, I add to my short. We get 113,000, I do a long hedge. Once we get below its resistance, I add to my short. Again, this only works if it's a cycle top, but when I show you the US dollar and gold, and we've already seen what's going on with the markets look a little toppy, we'll have to see. But it's no coincidence. I talked about this gold chart previously. You can get access to this chart just signing up to the Bitcoin charts for the $49 a month. But notice how accurate this was. Now, I did a video a while back. I talked about this line. Said this would be a great point to short gold around 3,500. We hit that point, got rejected, went sideways. Notice how well price respects these fib channels. Well, notice these fib channels are all connected, all right? And it's no coincidence to me that this line, right? So this fib channel right here that price is respecting so well, see how it all matches up? See how those lines? This line right here matches that line. This line matches that line. Everything's connected. These are all Fibonacci numbers. So let me make sure I have that in the correct place. So it's no coincidence that just above us is right at $4,000, right at that fib line. And then the next fib line above as the larger structure is up around 4,056. So what I'm saying is it's very possible that gold is about topped out, if not already topped out, just because that line is right at 4,000 and that is a fib line price has been respecting. And again, if we do get a wick up, look for 4,056. But I think gold is pretty much topped to come down. And if you watch a few videos back, I explained to you when gold starts going parabolic, that's a sign that markets are about to potentially reverse. And what happens is gold typically, as the markets come down, like the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P, over time, gold starts coming back down to the price it broke out from. So that means gold would start coming down, Bitcoin as well. The DXY, I've been talking about this chart for quite a while. I was talking about this yellow line. Notice every time we hit it, we get a wick below, but we push back up. Now, when I was talking about it before, back in July, 96.77. Notice we got a wick below, but 96.636. So your most critical support for the DXY is 96.54. But notice now we're above this fib line right here. So I know people are bearish on the dollar, but remember, if the markets start dropping, gold starts dropping, Bitcoin starts dropping, people will jump into cash. And I know people hate fiat, especially those who are in crypto, but cash is king. When everything's crashing, people jump into cash. And I'm sorry to say, the US, this is a global economy and it's all interconnected, but the US dollar is the global reserve currency. So typically, if things get bad, they're going to jump into cash. And you can see the dollar has pushed up. This looks like this could be an reverse head and shoulders. We could push higher. This was a resistance level, so we know that if we push up, next possible rejection for the US dollar could be up around 99.10. And we know our strongest resistance will be this next fib line up here. I mean, look how perfect a rejection we got right there, right at 102. So we know that that'll be a resistance level. But if we break above 100.3, wherever we make contact, if we could get rejected, of course. But if we get above that and hold, the dollar could push up more, and that would be a sign that something's happening. So if the dollar continues to push up, that means markets and Bitcoin and other assets are coming down, causing the dollar to push up because it's a flight to safety. People are jumping into cash. So seeing the dollar push up, seeing the gold is at a point. Now I'm saying, look, if we get above 4,056 and that holds, well, gold's going much higher because the next target for gold I have is all the way up here around 4,500. But if you see gold get rejected here, all right, if you see gold get rejected, and this looks like a likely point to short gold. I'm not saying sell your gold. If you're buying physical gold, hold it. But this looks like a point that possibly gold could get a rejection, and we're seeing the dollar push up, and we just saw Bitcoin get rejected. So again, does it have to be a cycle top? No. Is it possible? Yeah. And I showed you these cycles, and every time I show it, people leave these comments saying that it's the craziest thing they've ever heard. And I heard the exact same damn thing when I made this prediction here. People said I was nuts. And then slowly it just kept coming down. And I was like, oh no, this isn't. It's going to go higher. And then we pushed up, and then we dropped, and pushed up, and we dropped until we finally bottomed around 15,000. Yeah, I was calling for 10,000. I was off by what, $5,000? You cut me some slack, guys. And then I created the cycle, and then people were saying, oh, but the previous two cycles, this was a rising channel. Hold on. This was a rising channel right here. And this one was a rising channel. But this one's not a rising channel. No, it's a friggin' rising wedge. It's different, but there's some similarities. Notice the right shoulder is past this ring. Notice right here, the right shoulder is past this thick ring. The right shoulder is past this thick ring. Notice the pump takes place between the thick ring on the yellow cycle. The pump takes place between the thick blue ring on this cycle. The pump takes place between the thick red rings on this cycle. And then the right shoulder is past this point. And now we're in a pattern. That's what was shown in the last video. Support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, right? And now we're getting rejected. So if I'm wrong, well, then if we get above, let's say 126, let's just say 127,000. And that's what I'm saying. We could push up. We could even drop down to 117,000, push all the way back, hit 127,300, still be within this rising wedge. It seems much less likely we would go right to the apex. Typically, these break out about 75% of the way in. We're getting pretty damn close. And we've already crossed this ring, all right? Notice we moved right down this ring, pushed up. So we are respecting the rings. And we pushed up and went sideways when we crossed this ring back here. So a rising wedge is a bearish pattern. We're seeing gold get to a point that it could be top. We're seeing the dollar push up. Markets seem like they're way overvalued. So yeah, for me, to chance this as a possible cycle top, hell yeah, I'm going to take that trade. And again, every time you come at a resistance, I'm going to add to that short. And remember, every time you add margin, you could do a long hedge. So if you're only $500 in, you could do a $500 long in your long hedging. If I have $5,000 margin in my trade and I'm with a long hedge, I got to add $5,000 into a long. That means you got to have $10,000 in your account. So again, there's different ways to trade, and I was just trying to explain that to you. You don't have to go all in. You can go in just a little bit with low margin. If it goes the wrong way, get out of your trade. If it goes the right way, just hold it. Be patient, just wait. And as you push up and test resistance, add to your short, guys. That's what you do. That's what these charts are for. If we come up and if we drop below 121,000, that becomes resistance. Add to your short. Go back to this one, but the most key levels right now. So this is what I'm watching. So we're holding right now. It's like we wicked above it. We wicked below it, and we're kind of holding right now. So this is your most key support right now. Is 121,800. So just like the previous video, watch to see if we get a daily open above. It's this simple, guys. A daily open above 121,990. that's probably going to be bullish. We'll probably push up. You get a daily open below 121,900. Well, now this line's going to become resistance. You can export 119,945. This is more of an average. Above is bullish, below is bearish. But this would be your next strongest support. And as I said, this is the center of Bollinger Band on the daily coming up to this point. I hope that makes sense. The most important thing, the MACD looks like it's ready to roll over. This is on the daily. RSI, we already got across. We hit pretty close to these. If you connect these wicks, and this was a high at 123,300, a high at 124,468. We didn't touch the top of the trend line, but this was 126,250, 126,293. We got damn close. So you had this resistance right here, all right? That's a lot of resistance. Then you have the top of this channel. It's hard to nail down because there's so many wicks. But the combination of having these wicks almost make perfect contact and the larger structure we're in, and then the fib lines that we hit and got rejected, which I just showed you on these charts that were here way before price got to it. Yeah, to me it looks like that we could have some downside. Now you can scalp, make scalp longs as price drops, and as price pushes up. I mean, if price drops, you can do a scalp long. Price pushes up, and do scalp shorts. But if this was ever going to be a cycle top, in my opinion, this would be it. And will it be? Can it be invalidated? Of course. And again, not to repeat myself, but we do know this. If we break above 127,000 and that becomes support, then yes, that will be very bullish because we'll be breaking out of this huge pattern, all right? And, you know, we can just pick a random point here. I don't know. We can just go from here to here. I guess you probably would go from here because we had support down here. So yeah, if we broke up from this pattern, you know, I don't know if you come from the bottom or where you break out. Ironically, that kind of puts us right at this point here. So yeah, we're talking $200,000, right? At the top of this, that would take us to over 200,000. So if we do break up above 127,000, get bullish because we're headed to 200K, all right? There'll be resistance levels on the way up. But to me, because we had so many resistance levels, that's why I opened a short. And I'm going to hold that short and keep adding to that short as price goes down. And if I get stopped out and we hold above 127,000, I'm not an idiot. That's bullish. We just broke out of a huge rising wedge. Going back to, well, at least the top of it was back in December 17, 2024. So we break to the upside or we break to the downside. We were at the top, so hey, it made sense to short it. So we'll see what happens. You have your levels. I'll keep you updated. Again, guys, this is a limited time, so if you want to take advantage of it, 23 days and 23 hours left. Just make sure that, again, all these links pinned first comment description. This is the event specials page. Read everything, but make sure you use my referral link to sign up, and then click on join, and then you'll be part of the promotion. If you have any questions, you can email me through the website. If you want to learn how to trade, check out the tutorial video. And if you want to sign up to my website, again, all these links are pinned in the first comment description. Join us in Discord. It's a blast. We're like family in there. That's it, guys. I know I said quick update, but it ran long as it usually does, but I like to be thorough. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.